Pike County Fiscal Court called to order. Madam Clerk, have a roll call with members, please.
Judge Rutherford.
Present.
Magistrate Anderson.
Here.
Magistrate Johnson will be here. Magistrate Murphy.
Here.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Here.
Magistrate Harris.
Here.
We have a quorum. We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Magistrate Murphy, a veteran.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supreme Architect of the Universe, we invoke our blessings at this time.
You have in your packet the minutes of October 15th meeting. Jeannie and I have gone over those minutes, found them to be correct. And do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Motion, Magistrate Murphy, to have a second. Magistrate Robinson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. We don't have a lot on the agenda for court today, but the board that has governed the construction of the judicial building asked that AOC, the state body, give us recommendations of policies and procedures for the Pike County Judicial Center. And of course, this is something that certainly was needed. Jeannie has worked on with Frankfurt, trying to get for a month to get this, and the board approved. Now, the board that I chair under the Kentucky statute, we got one more meeting set. Once that meeting set, we will not be a board any longer. But we did go ahead and approve these policies and procedures. Now, the building is turned over to Pike County. It belongs to Pike County Fiscal Court, Pike County government. So we are the ones that have to control what happens over there. So you have in your packet a copy of the policies and procedures, and it is, what it's for is just to control where in certain areas people can have food and drink. We adopted the AOC's recommendation on no smoking in the facility, and it designates also an outside smoking area over there. It has security, and security is a concern for AOC, the Office of the Courts in Frankfurt, and so it takes care of that. It also tells about the personal items that all the employees and the elected officials, the court system, the 3 circuit judges and the 2 district judges, and they, of course, can bring their personal things and goes on the wall in their offices. But it does control the furnishings and tell what they can use and can't use, and tells what it has to be framed, because that is a beautiful, beautiful building, and we want it to stay that way. When they talk about a building lasting 75 to 100 years, then certainly it's an obligation upon us as a governing body to see that it's operated properly. It has, the Chief Justice made some recommendations on the limit of activities. This is nothing new. This is in all of the 17 new judicial centers throughout the Commonwealth. And he has in this the approved activities that you can have, and that is trials, hearings, judicial functions, conferences. It has to do with litigation, the circuit court clerk's activities, AOC activities, commissioner activities, security-related functions, prisoners holding judicial proceedings, government buildings, educational activities by the Chief Justice and the state, community and civic meetings approved by the Chief Justice, and memorial services approved by the Chief Justice. It also has the unapproved activities, and those are no political activities, no prisoner holding for judicial proceeding, no religious or activities displayed, no rallies, no demonstrations, privately or commercially operated staff functions, all non-court of justice administrative activities. Then it goes ahead and talks about secure parking and who uses the secure parking. Now, as you know, the security is tied in that new building. It's tied in all the judicial buildings, the new ones, and it's not like it used to be Judge Hayes, where you could go up in the old Justice Building and walk into and go up on the elevator with the judge. They have their own elevator now, Judge Hayes, and it is secure. You cannot get to those judges, period, over in that building, and that's the way with all the judicial centers, the new ones that's built around the Commonwealth. So we're proud to have this new facility, and Judge Hayes, you want to add to that?
Judge, I did want to mention, I think our judges who are serving in that building would want me to mention, you can get to them, but you have to do it in a specified manner by going through security. If anyone listening visits that building needs to see a judge, be it circuit or district, they need to advise security when they enter, and they'll be told how they can clear security to see that judge. So I just wanted to clarify that one point.
And everybody has to go through security at the main front of the building. Everybody is aware of that. I think most of us have been over there to the building, and you have to go through security entering the front of the new judicial building. So any questions in regard to the policies and procedures that this court would adopt by a motion and second? Mr. County Attorney, do you have anything to add to it?
I have nothing to add, Judge.
Okay, to have a motion to approve the policies and procedures.
Motion.
We have a motion, Master Anderson, to have a second, Master Robinson, have a roll call vote, please.
Master Anderson,
Yes.
Master Johnson, Master Murphy,
Yes.
Master Robinson, Master Dodson,
Yes.
Master Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. Next, we have, and the county attorney's office have been, and Judge Hayes and others have been working with Johnny Harris and the board of the Big Creek Volunteer Fire Department. And so, Mr. County Attorney, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you have a recommendation for the court in regard how we proceed in regard to a new center. Now, before we do that, Carl, this is the Big Creek Fire Training and Community Center. It is in the old bank building, the old Dinner Bell building, and Carl, we're looking probably in 2016 or maybe 17 when we would do the same thing we're doing at Johns Creek and that we're going to do at Mouthcard at the community center to see if we could get a senior citizen interest in the community to establish a senior citizen center for over there too. But this is a training center, and I don't know, was you able to get on here the drawing that they had? Here is a drawing that was presented, and you know the existing fire station. In the middle, they have a stage built, and then on the other side, where that the drive-through was, you'll see that has a top on it. It's open, but they have picnic tables in that particular area. But what we and the county attorney will tell you what we're concerned about on this contract. So, Mr. County Attorney, I'm going to turn it over to you because you know about the appraisal being done and the rest of the things that's happened.
Yes, Judge. As you know, the Big Creek Volunteer Fire Department had $200,000 of line item prioritized severance tax money. This building is located next to the existing structure. The Volunteer Fire Department was interested in its purchase and remodeling for use as a fire training and community center. In an abundance of caution and pursuant to state statute, we did have an appraisal done, which came in, my recollection is about $235,000. 225. The owner has offered to sell, or the negotiated price is $165,000, which is less than the appraised value and is from the money that's available. So I would recommend to the court that they grant approval to execute the deed upon receipt of the money from the severance tax, that we be able to, I will prepare the deed and that you can execute and sign same upon the receipt of the money from the state. That would be my recommendation. And you also will notice on the agenda, they want to bid out the remodeling of the facility and in a second motion to authorize bidding the remodeling to see what kind of bids they got for the remodeling. So
Mr. Harris.
Judge, I have spoken with Rick Green, who's the chief there at the fire department, and I know the community's been real involved in this. This is money that was allocated directly from the state budget out of coal severance, a coal severance line item directly to the Big Creek Fire Department for this project. The appraisal seems to be in line, and what we're buying the property for is below the appraised value. This is a former bank building over on Big Creek. It's right adjacent to the fire department. So I'll make the motion that that we go ahead and authorize the county to purchase the building for the agreed upon price.
We have a motion by Magistrate Harris to have a second. Have a second, Magistrate Anderson. Have a roll call vote.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
And I
Mr. County
guess a
Attorney.
separate motion to authorize the bidding of the remodeling with the funds, the remaining funds that are left over, to bid out the remodeling renovations to the building to make it suitable for their purposes.
Have a motion, Magistrate Harris, to have a second.
Second.
Have a second, Magistrate Anderson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. We have a longtime county employee who passed away since the last court meeting, as Wayne Buddy Dennison. He's a retired employee from our Public Works Department. Fine gentleman, a Christian man, a great loss to his community and his family. And we, and I'm sure, and several of our employees and others attended the funeral of Wayne Buddy Dennison. Also, we had another employee. This fellow is Doran Hamilton, for you that don't know Doran. I know that Magistrate Anderson knew Doran Hamilton. He was the Terry Rogers of the courthouse for many, many years. Doran was a fellow who took care of the heating, the cooling, and the cleaning and the maintenance of the courthouse here of this building. And Doran was he was a deacon on the board at Church of Christ over on Chloe Creek, and very active in that church. His wife worked for the county in the early 70s on the old, I called it, TJ, the hotel system, where they pushed in, when they got a call in the courthouse, they put a plug out, put one in. The old motel, like they used to have at Pikeville Motel, which you had at Pikeville College. And she worked there, and she was the one, and I know you all remember, that got burned up in a house fire hatch about 2 years ago. So they have a son, Tracy. We know Tracy. Tracy is of Elliott Glass. He is the fellow that runs Elliott Glass. Is their son, Tracy. Had one grandson, Corey. Corey got a college scholarship for baseball and was an all-state baseball player, if I remember, for Pikeville. So and our condolences go out to his family and his friends and his church. He certainly will be missed, and of course he gave a lot of years and a lot of hard work in this building right here to have it for what we are able to enjoy today. And next we have Carl, and I know that you've been getting calls in regard to health, the Affordable Health Care Act. We have 9,000 Pike Countyans who today do not have health insurance. And of course, they're anxious to get health insurance because they don't have any. So I've been getting calls at our office, and Carl, certainly your office is the one that they come to. You and I are on the health board, and we know at the last meeting that they have sending people to training. So I'll turn it over to you, and you can give, and then give the telephone numbers and give the .coms how people can find out. Now, we're not, and you will tell us, I'm sure, that we don't have to access the federal system. All this, what we're hearing, there are 37 states that have taken this on themselves, and they're expanding Medicare through the state. So they don't have to make that call where they're having all these problems. Kentucky don't have that problem. So, Carl, if you would tell us what is what has taken place and what people can do to get the Affordable Health Care Act and can sign up for it.
Judge, as you stated, we have here in Pike County 9,915 uninsured individuals. Of that number, 5,127 of those individuals are now eligible for Medicaid. 3,984 of those individuals are eligible with subsidies, which means that will assist those individuals in being able to afford health insurance.
That's 800, and how many will get subsidies?
There's 3,984 that will receive subsidies. 5,127 of those individuals are now eligible for Medicaid. So what we're trying to do, Judge, is get the word out into the county, because there's still yet those individuals who are under the impression that they don't qualify. But under the Affordable Health Care Act, these individuals will now qualify for medical. We do have individuals that are now identified as connector assistant. What that is, Judge, we have 4 different agencies that have been given grant money to be able to help those individuals to apply for this medical assistance. Those being the Pike County Health Department, to which you stated earlier, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, as well as Big Sandy Area Development District, and the Appalachia Research and Defense Fund, some people know as Legal Aid. Those are the 4 individuals that are agencies that these individuals can contact, or if these individuals want to apply online, that is also available to them. But Judge, as you know, and I know, there's several people, those to which that might qualify for this health care, may not have access to the internet, and that's why we have these 4 agencies that'll be on hand to assist those individuals. Here's the key to it, though. Those individuals, although you can apply up through March, if you apply for the health care before December the 15th, and you're eligible, determined eligible, then your insurance premium will receive your insurance starting 1st of January. For those that don't apply before December 15th, if they happen to apply after that date, they'll be, say for example, if they apply in January, it'll be February when their insurance starts. So what we're trying to do is get the word out to these individuals that they need to sign up as soon as possible before December 15th in order to be eligible for health insurance January 1, because the longer they postpone it, you know, it'll delay their coverage. So, you know, I found out this information when I went to an ARP forum last week in Prestonsburg. So I thought it was very important that we be able to get this word out to our people that now qualify for that. And I would state, Judge, if there are those that are listening or anyone that needs more information, by all means, feel free to call my office. We'll be able to assist them in any way we can.
Would you give that phone number?
My office number is 432-6246.
Carl, thank you, and that's important that these people has an opportunity to sign up and get insurance for the first time. The NRCS projects, you got a picture here on Barney Branch at Kemper, and you can see these are before pictures, and then we'll go to the after picture. They're starting right there. This is after the NRCS, and you can tell what kind of work they do. They keep an engineer right out there with the contractor from the minute they start till they complete. So that project has been completed. And then we have the floodplain easement program with NRCS, and you'll notice this house. This house is over, Magistrate Dotson is over at Blackburn Bottom. And this is at 35 North Blackburn Bottom. And as you'll see that this is the Pike County Solid Waste over there of tearing this facility down with the excavator, and of course they haul it to the landfill. And I don't know, but I'd say it took about 2.5 hours from the time they started till they was cleaning this up. And then we go to Barnshee over in Peter Creek, And we see and this is ongoing work, I understand. Am I right, Jeannie? This is the ongoing, this is before, this is what they're going to be straightening up over on Barnshee and Peter Creek. And so then we go back over to Pond Creek, and I've said this plenty of time, we're blessed to have the NRCS program, and we're back over in Pond Creek, Picoa Holler. And we know, we've heard Magistrate Harris talk about Picoa Holler and the trouble we had with the gas company at one time up there where they went in and did some work. But this is an ongoing project, Jeannie, now, as they started on Picoa Holler. So they have started on Picoa Holler. So the Judicial Center dedication ceremony, about all the magistrates attended that ceremony of this county building. And it was a good ceremony, I thought, that participated in, and we was able to give a little history of how a lot of times down Frankfurt they don't look east, and then when they do look east and when things get tight, then they want to cut everything they'd give us in the original in the beginning. But we was blessed for the Chief Justice to be up here and to do the ribbon cutting and dedicating this building to the people of Pike County, and we was able to take a part in that, and we was able to participate in the cutting of the ribbon. And that is history made in this county. That's one of the finest judicial buildings. I don't say that with Judge Rutherford saying it. I say that from the Chief Justice of this state and the people at AOC in Frankfurt. They say that this is the building, if they talk about a judicial building anywhere in this Commonwealth in future years, that this will be the design that they'll look at because of the usability of this building and the security that they have in this building. And it was a great day for all of us to participate in, and it's now operating. We participated in Nightmare on Main Street. We remembered back when they had this event up to the YMCA. And it got so many people attending it that they blocked off the streets and they couldn't get ambulances and fire trucks up, even going to Cedar Creek. They blocked the road on both sides going to Peter Creek. The city was so gracious to take this on as a Main Street project and to do it in the Expo Center. But if you don't recognize anybody in that, they're all probably sitting right here, but one or two. But what a job. And I commend the county employees who did all the work. Then we had a retard from the county, and I participated in it because I was asked to on behalf of the fiscal court, and that was Gary McCoy. Of course, I was probation and parole officer of this county for some 9 years, and I knew, and Gary McCoy came to me when he first went in and asked for some advice. I said, well, every time I had to send somebody to penitentiary that I had on probation, I felt that I had been a failure, but I had to send a lot of them, and you will have to do the same thing. But remember, everybody's somebody, and these people need a second chance. And he made it. He worked up there for years. Gary McCoy did. He did a great job for them, and he is now retired. Judge Hayes was able to give the area development directors that visited this historical Pike County Courthouse a tour of this building, a tour of Heritage Hallway, a tour of the Veterans Hallway, and what they were here for. And we want to thank Mrs. Runyon of our Big Sandy Area Development District, who hosted these from Paducah to Pikeville. I think there was 16 different, I believe it was, wasn't it, Judge Hayes? There was 16 different directors. Hatch, we go to meetings, we knew a lot of them when they showed up here that day. And the magistrates, of course, would have known a lot of them too, because we see them at our state meetings that we go to. But we thank Mrs. Runyon for bringing those, and Judge Hayes giving them a tour. We have visitors to this courthouse, and this is just an example. Betty Hard told me about this family, and I told Judge Hayes about it, and he arranged for Betty to have this family to come by, and for Judge Hayes again to give them a tour of this courtroom we're sitting in here today is the original courtroom that the Hatfield McCoy trial took place. Also, Judge Hayes was able to take them downstairs in the clerk's office and show them the back of the building, which was 100% proof that this courtroom is the same courtroom. But those people from Canada, and Judge Hayes, you want to just briefly tell about the Collins family? And
Judge, these folks were descended from Meredith Collins, who was a Revolutionary War soldier. It's an amazing thing that our Canadian neighbors came down here and they found their ancestor's name out on the big stone, the commemorating Pike County Revolutionary War soldiers. His name's right there on that bronze plaque. Fine people, Judge, and we were able to find some of the early records. They had been, by the way, over to Floyd County, of course, Pike County being a part of Floyd County originally, and also, Judge, I believe Charles had been over to Tazewell, Virginia, and of course that had all of us, Judge, historically. So they were thrilled, they were excited, and Judge, I want to say this: they were so appreciative of the hospitality here in this courthouse, and not only here in this courthouse, but in the city of Pikeville, at the museum. Everyone, Betty Howard, everyone they came in contact with, they were just so impressed. And you know, word of mouth is a great thing. And this is the second group of Canadians I've been able to talk to who've come to Pike County. Actually ran into one family, Judge, had been to Disney World for a week, and they made Pikeville a destination on their way back to Canada from Disney World because they wanted to see the Hatfield McCoy sites.
I was able to show the Collins family the day before two of my great grandfathers that's on this plaque, John Johnson and Pleasant Childers. That's when I found out I was kin to Magistrate Johnson, John Johnson, and they moved. We had to move John Johnson from where his grave was when we built the Dorton Park, and we moved it, and we had a dedication up there. And put a monument up because Magistrate Johnson said, now, if you all want it moved, we'll move it. But if you move it, we're going to put a monument up here, and you all have to see it. And that monument carries the name of him and his wife and their children on the back of that monument up Dorton Park. If you're up there, take a look at it. But
It's really nice.
it's real nice, and it adds a lot to the Dorton Park. Scholar House applications, we have this on here because we are needing applications. Now, this is an opportunity for a young adult, and I say adult now because you when you have a child in high school, you grow up and mature pretty fast. And you have a single parent with children who can come to the Scholar House of Central Appalachia. And you can get a college education at Pikeville College or the community college at no cost. No cost. Imagine that. A young girl with the children and a single parent, and that child to raise and not knowing and not having any hope for the future. But Jeannie was able to go down, and Dan and others, and tour this facility. It's about 90% complete. The Scholar House of Central Appalachia and this is the rooms, look just like the rooms when I visited the Scholar House in Louisville. The rooms are designed just the same way. They are excellent. These children and their parents, and if you go back, Dan, to the one that shows the building out back where the learning center is going to be. This is a learning center, a daycare center, which will be operated by the YMCA, and they are ready to take care of these children. The mother can walk to school, or will be provided transportation to either the campus up on the hill or the campus out on the river field of the community college. So what an opportunity. We need, now these young people comes in there, their guidelines are going to have to comply with, and why shouldn't they? If they're going to get a free education at the University of Pikeville or the Kentucky Community College system. So we're needing applications. And the phone number on that is they have two numbers, I think. They have three. It's 218-5250. They can get the director's name, Jeannie. It's Samantha Rogers at 534-0808, if I'm correct, or 218-5967. Now, Jeannie, do you have anything to add? When will the first ones, group, they're going to phase these people going in, and they're coming in pretty soon. If you would get the mic and tell us when the first ones and how many goes in.
It should be sometime in November. I'm not really sure. They may have already moved in, but I've not been notified, but I know they've got blinds up. It's ready to go. Sometime in November, I think they're going to move 10 at a time in, 10 per month.
Do we have the board members on this? This is a joint project between again, we don't hear that from our local paper, but that's a project we've done with the city and with the university, and nobody can do anything alone. Now, some people think everybody goes alone. We don't go alone on nothing. We partner. And now we have coming up the Fallen Peace Officers Memorial. We are getting close. The local lodge, Fraternal Order of Police, they raised $16,000. They will be placing a monument, and you see, if you notice what these combs was, out in front of the Doughboy, that is where this 10-foot-high memorial to the Fallen Peace Officers Memorial. The names of all of those that will give their life for duties in the history of this county. The research has been done by Mr. Collier and by Mr. Thompson, Terry Thompson, and here is an example of what it will look like. This is Elmer Mobley. I knew Elmer, and I was with Elmer the day before that he got killed in an accident going to a wreck, Bobby, on Jerry Robinson's curve. Him and Cecil Uzzle hit a rock and rolled off the hill, Magistrate Anderson, on 2023 South as they left that area to go up to they was at the district headquarters of the state police when the call came in, and they jumped in their car, and a rock came off the hill across from Walmart on US 23, and they was killed. A list, is this all of them or the ones that they don't find pictures for? And you will see we're listing these so people that have pictures that, and a lot of the pictures we have got, and they, like Uzzle and like Elmer Mobley and like Thacker, the deputy sheriff, and like Magistrate Dotson, like Earl Smith over in Peter Creek. We have his picture and the others, but we need these pictures. So if anybody sees this on Pike TV, they need to get in touch with my office, 432-6247, and ask for Dan Thacker. And Dan will tell you where to bring the picture to, and we need to get it. This is not going to hold up the dedication that we're going to have and the unveiling of both. Now, the hallway where these will go will be next to the clerk's office, and it will be the Roy Conway Memorial, Fallen Peace Officers Memorial will be the name of it. Roy Conway was sheriff of this county. The father of the former First Lady, Judy Patton, was the only one that was assassinated while serving as the sheriff of the county. So his picture will be up on top of the rest of these. Outside will be the name etched in that 10-foot-high memorial. Inside will not only be this picture of these individuals, but underneath it will describe their service and how they gave their life. So this will be a great addition to the award-winning hallway of the Heritage Hallway and the award-winning Veterans Hallway. Next, we of course, again, we partnership with everybody we can. We partnership with Mountain Comprehensive Care Traditional Housing Complex. This court authorized me to sign the application. We had the lady, Mrs. Paxton, Julie Paxton, who is not only an attorney, but one of the best grant writers that I've ever seen. These are under construction, and you can see them. It's up Robinson Creek. And folks, this is a transitional housing center, and this meets our commitment to veterans. This court, what we have attempted to do and are doing for veterans is unbelievable. We have 25 rooms up to this facility for veterans in this county and this area, not only this county, that don't have a home today. And they will have a place to call home. Now, we also had on this also some other units that was for Douglas Park Independent Living Apartment. We received a grant. This court got involved, authorized me to sign the application to work with Mountain Comprehensive Care, and those units are under. This is units where you have some individual who, if they took their medicine, wouldn't have to be institutionalized. So this concept is one that they've come up with. They put an LPN in the facility who gives out the medicine every day to the person who qualifies to move into this facility. Then they don't have to be hospitalized or institutionalized for what they have if they just take their medicine. And this is too for the veterans, but Carl, it's also for all individuals who qualify under this. So that's two things that we've done, and this is behind Shelby Valley High School. It's in that complex over there. Magistrate Johnson, I was out of town when they had the last groundbreaking, and Magistrate Johnson handled that for the fiscal court, and we're certainly proud of our veterans. And talking about how proud we are of our veterans, we have our Veterans Day coming up at 1 o'clock on Friday in this courtroom, and this is going to be a good one. Magistrate Murphy, I know that you're going to be proud because you gave us the name of Billy Webb, who graduated of Feds Creek High School, who graduated up in the naval, just shorter than anybody else in the country, even to get his own ship. And he's a graduate of Florida University, and his dad, a lot of us knew his dad very well, Elmer Webb, employee of this county for many years, and his mother, Mary Lou. They live next to the Church of Christ on Mount Card, the next house before you get to the church. I've been there. Willis Justice worked for the county here for a number of years. Mary Lou was his first cousin. I've eaten at their table, Leo, many times. Leo was able to give Jeannie and the committee, and that committee was made up of the Belfry, DVA, the Elkhorn City, Pikeville, Zebulon, and Betsy Lane, VFWs at Pikeville and Phelps. And that's the committee that we're partnering with again. You read this stuff, we don't do no partnering. We go everything alone. But folks, we partnered with them. They are the committee. Then we honor our veterans. The Pikeville Medical Center year before last, we joined them and had a big celebration and a big memorial service over, and Lee Greenwood was there. Now, East Kentucky Broadcasting, I was on their stations this morning, and they have been advertising this, and they're saying that Pikeville Medical Center is not having one this year. But you remember theirs, and Judge Hayes reminded me that theirs were first responders and veterans. So we, again, partnered with the city of Pikeville, and we had a memorial service for the first responders on 911. Now, again, you read everything in the paper. It said we don't partner with the city, we don't get along with the city, but we partnered and had the most beautiful and solemn ceremony that Judge Hayes did a masterful job that day as a master of ceremonies. And so that, then we, of course, veterans were interested, and WestCare had got in touch with us and said, Judge, we know what the county is doing for veterans. We want to do something for veterans. So, folks, on Monday, November the 11th, on Veterans Day, over to what we know as the old Prairie Clown School, the WPA building on the bypass, WestCare is going to have a free meal for all veterans and their family that will show up over there that day. If you want any further information, Carl, I think the name was Anna Coleman at 432-9442. And, that's on Veterans Day on Monday. Then we go back to Artists Collaborative Theater, and we're showing on that of what they have coming up. So what else did we have? I think that was about it that we had today. So if nobody don't have any comments or anything, we'll go back to our agenda, and Mr. Stacy, if you have any bids, you would be the next on the agenda. And there are no bids. Next will be Magistrate's Road work. Motion by Magistrate Anderson, second by Magistrate Robinson. Have a roll call vote, and Madam Clerk, to accept the list of the road work to be done between now and the second and the next meeting.
Magistrate Anderson,
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy,
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson, Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Ruthford.
Yes. Magistrate's comments. Magistrate Anderson.
Judge, I didn't have anything, but you were talking, it made me think of something about the Halloween. I had fielded several phone calls that afternoon, and I had called, I don't know if Penny's here or not, but I had actually called her and asked if there was a chance, because it was all over the internet, and people were calling and talking about whether or not Halloween was going to be called off, because I know some of y'all must have gotten some of the same phone calls.
We did, too.
But I called the judge's office and just want to thank you all that you all had already talked to the weather station in Jackson, and they said it looked like it was going to be a good night to trick or treat, and you all were on top of things, and I appreciate it, because I had a lot of my neighbors.
I want to thank Doug Tackett and Mr. Maynard. Doug was out of town, but we talked to him 2 or 3 times in regard to that, and made our decision and we was fortunate. We had good weather.
Yeah, we did have good weather, and I know after I fielded a bunch of phone calls, and then I had to turn around and call these people back, and we Facebooked and got on the internet and told people that it was still on, and just want to thank y'all's office for the job well done. That's all I have.
Thank you. Magistrate Johnson.
Just talking about Wayne Dennison there a while ago. He was a good work hand, and before I even got this job that I've got, he used to come by my service station. He would tell me everything they'd done that day, and he really loved his job, and he thought a lot of the work ends too.
He was a
didn't say about nothing about nobody.
He was a workaholic, wasn't he, Chick?
And a good
I
man.
mean,
to
he
go with.
just worked from time he came to work, he worked to the end.
Well, he was a good
He
fellow.
did.
He's kind of a nervous fella, but now but he was a good man to go with it. And I got a road company putting a road system.
Magistrate Murphy.
Judge, I just wanted to know if you got any updates on the road over at Pompey there, around by the lake.
We didn't get anything from our engineer for this court meeting, so I'd say that by the next court meeting, they will give us a recommendation, and of course, they'll be wanting to draw more pay down too, so.
Yeah, it's moving along, well, pretty good, I think.
Moving along pretty good, and Jeannie, we'll be ready at the next court meeting. Magistrate Dodson.
Judge, I've got a few little things here. We have had some bad reports on some vandalism and stealing over at the Majestic Fire Station. I think Paul went over today to check it out, or yesterday, which was yesterday, wasn't it, Paul? I never have got a chance to talk to him, but I want to let the people be aware in that area. They've been robbed, I guess, twice in the last little bit. And, you know, we're subject to maybe losing that fire station, Doug, or having to close it up because they can't keep gas in their trucks and they can't keep pumps and things. And I just want to let the residents over there know that we need their help in trying to help us stop this before it's too late and they lose their fire station. You know, we don't want to see that happen. But the fire chief asked me if we could put some kind of a reward out for whoever is doing this, or if we could put a camera up or something. But I think Paul went over and they talked. And Paul, I'll let you tell the court what you come up with over there, if you would.
What we're gonna do is lay block in the windows and seal everything up and secure the 2 bay doors right there, you know.
So you're going to lay block and secure it?
Gonna lay block in the window sills up and just block the windows. The chief should do that and just seal the windows.
Doug, do we have any more cameras?
Not right now, we don't have.
Well, if we're able to get any more cameras in the next while, we need to think about securing that building over there if we can with the cameras in the future.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. It's kind of isolated a little bit there above the school. You know where it is. I think you might have been judge when you built that building. And we've got a good department, and it's just bad when they go in to, they have a fire and they go in to get a truck and there's no gas in it, or the pump's gone, or the battery's gone, or whatever. And you know, I think it's time for the people to step up and start helping us take care of these problems so we can secure their future. You know, it's something that a fire department is important, and I think people need to help us as a county to try to take care of it. I'm sure it's not the only place it's happening. It's probably going on a lot of other places, but that's just one I want to let the people know about. And I've got a little problem. I don't want to ask Rhonda to address it, but Judge, I had a call from some people that was having some problems with their bills on Mountain Water, and I just want Rhonda to maybe take notes and take it to our next board meeting. But they said they had a guy show up at their door to disconnect their water, and they told them, said, we paid our bill online, and they said it took 4 to 5 days if you pay your bill online before you guys get the money. And they were there to disconnect their bill and was wanting to charge them $30 for coming over to make that complaint. And you know, I thought, I'm not a computer person, but I thought once you paid online that it went directly to the people.
When is the next meeting of the Mountain Water District? You probably have those people come to the next meeting of the Water District Board.
Well, they got it taken care of, Judge, you know, through the people coming and them calling, and they told them they was going to waive the $30 since it was paid online. But the guy that called me, he said, I just don't want it to happen.
They
to
have that
anybody
option
else.
of coming to the board meeting but if it's resolved, that's fine.
The last Wednesday of every month.
But Ron, I don't know how long it takes if you pay your bills online. I never do that. And but he said, you know, that they had paid the bill and they were there to, if they hadn't been home, they probably would have disconnected it. I thank you. And Judge, talking to some coal companies since we've had our last meeting about our trail system, I felt real good. I talked to one large company and told him what we were trying to do with promoting tourism with the trail system. And he invited me to get you or somebody from the court to call them and set up a meeting. And they would sit down and listen to our proposal.
Jeannie, if you get that set up, we will go have the meeting immediately. Charles Carlton, County Attorney's Office, Judge Hayes, and myself, and we'll be glad, and the Magistrate Dotson, we'll go sit with them, and we are anxious to get the second location, and hopefully we can figure out a way that we get this first one and then get this one in line.
Well, this was a large company other than the one that me and you and Dan will talk about.
We'll be glad to do that.
In the room, and
Immediately.
he said just give him about 3 or 4 day notice so he can have his people there, and we'd meet and sit down and talk and see what we can do with it. But they've got a trail now over there that they can go all the way to the breaks from Peter Creek. They can go to the Breaks Park, and you know it's in and out and things that I think you know we just need to keep working on
We'll
it.
be glad to do that.
And
You know, she'll get it on the calendar, and we'll be there.
that's all I have, Judge.
Magistrate Harris.
Thank you, Judge. First, I want to congratulate the Belfry Middle School football team on winning another state championship tournament. They played in Lexington at Bryan Station High School this past weekend and won the second in a row state championship. So it might be nice if we'd invite them over to the next court meeting.
TJ, want them invited over with and get ready for the A court meeting and bring them over.
That's a great accomplishment.
It really is, and we weren't able to make it this year. I had a son with pneumonia, so we didn't get to go down this year. We followed him, and the game was a first half. I think it was 8-0 at the end of the first half, and so they came out in the second half and took care of business. So we're real proud of the middle school football team. The other thing I wanted to ask about is what, if any, plans do we have, Judge, for the second or for the third and fourth floor of the Hall of Justice? Have we been working on any plans to remodel that to make it some income-producing
We have Doug
project
Tackett.
for the county?
The court has approved Doug Tackett of moving over there. They're moved in. So if you're over here, any of the magistrates, I haven't been over in 2 weeks or 3, but you need to get by and see that. We've relocated the corner from out in the city up to where Doug was on the 4th floor, but Judge Hayes can give you a quick rundown on.
Yeah, Magistrate Harris, I was over there today, I guess, in what they call their war room. That's their large room where everyone will be able to gather. It is very impressive, and I want to commend Doug Tackett and his entire staff. What a wonderful job they've done. You walk in there and you see those 70-inch screens on the wall, and it's really something. It's a state-of-the-art emergency services facility, and I think you'll be very proud, and I hope you'll be able to get up there. They're almost finished with that. And Magistrate Harris, they have almost the whole, well, they do have the whole left side as you walk down the hall from the elevators on the 4th floor. It was Judge Coleman's old courtroom, his chambers, and then the jury room on the other side, but they have that whole end of the 4th floor. We have agreed to allow Red Cross to use those 2 offices. As you walk down the hall, you're looking at 2 doors there. They were conference rooms. They needed a storage room about 8 by 10, and one of those will suffice, and one will be used as an office. We're because of the services that Red Cross provides to the people of Pike County and our continuing disasters, we thought that would be a good fit to put them up there, and they will be next to emergency services, and that'll work out real well and hopefully we never have to experience that, Doug. But and so far that's where we are on the 4th floor. The 3rd floor, Magistrate Harris, we've not really done anything. We've left Judge Mullins's old courtroom intact. The clerk's office is a mess right now. I just told Paul Williamson we need to start cleaning that up and getting all that furniture in. Now, AOC was good enough to give us, to allow the county to take, Judge, all of that furniture that was in that courthouse. I guess right now, Magistrate Harris, it's in every senior citizens, every community center. It's in the coroner's office. It's in 911 EMS. We're putting that to good use. The public library here got quite a bit of that shelving that was in the circuit clerk's office. We have discussed with WestCare and Judge Friend, the Pike County jailers, potential use of the 3rd floor. Those discussions are ongoing for possible drug rehab. WestCare managed county jail facility there, but we have no concrete plans. But we are talking to people. Bobby Branham, I don't see him here. We've been looking at several avenues to get people in to try to get some rental income there. It's fine to help those services that help the people, but we do need to get some rental income, and that's what we're hopeful of doing. We have started some repair work. Unfortunately, Magistrate Harris, when AOC facilities moved out of there, that was 3rd and 4th floor were just a mess, and we have been able so far to persuade AOC to help us with that. There was nothing in the lease about that, but we do have a fund of money. There's some question about it now. We're looking at getting that done. By the way, the coroner is in the old, as Judge mentioned, on the 4th floor here in this courthouse, in the old EMS 911 offices. Those walls have been repaired and painted now. We had a carpet layer in today. We've got some carpet still left from what AOC provided to do the circuit clerk's offices. We decided not to put it in, and wisely so, because it would just have been ruined. We had that left, and we're carpeting that now, and the coroner will be up and running and here in this courthouse where he ought to be with all the other public officials. So I think, Master Harris, that's pretty much a rundown of where we are at this time.
And we got 2 courtrooms we're gonna keep intact up there, I hope we can. And Jeannie schedules, and any of the outside groups that was having meetings in that building can continue to have meetings in that building.
The judge, in that regard, for example, the state traffic school is still meeting in the courtroom on the 4th floor in Judge Combs' old courtroom, which is we left it there.
Also Fraternal Order Police.
Fraternal Order
I
Police.
know there was
Other
talk at one
Jeannie
time
wants
about an inpatient drug rehab place, maybe in conjunction with the jail, that maybe there could be some revenue produced from the
Right,
state
and-
revenue or something from a prison.
Yes, you're exactly right, and we were excited about that. You know, this court has set aside that recovery from the Purdue Pharma lawsuit. That money is still there. It's still intact. I hope it's drawing good interest, as good as you can get today. But that was $2.4 million, and this court had decided to use that for drug rehabilitation program. There were some serious ongoing discussions with WestCare, who does the present and does a great job, Master Harris, as you know, over in the jail now. They wanted to enlarge that facility, take the 3rd floor in as a minimum security facility to house state inmates who were going to go into drug treatment. Now, what happened with Obamacare, there was some talk about those inmates would be entitled to receive this care upon release through the Obamacare coverage. There was some policy changes, Judge, and you've talked to Department of Corrections about that, and we're just not sure exactly where we are with being able to fill that facility if we were to do it with those state inmates, and that's what would make that 3rd floor, because it is a minimum security and it is a minimal, although expensive, cost to modify that 3rd floor to that use. For example, you can use studded walls with sheetrock in a minimum security facility. But we just, there became a question, and it's still up in the air, and discussions are still ongoing about this program. We've not given up on it by any means. But we're still up in the air as to whether or not we could fill the 100 and I can't remember exactly, over 100 beds with those state inmates. And we need that to make it a profitable venture because, as you know, we get more money with the state inmates than we do county.
I talked to Judge Hayes. I talked to the Justice Secretary, Mr. Brown, Magistrate Harris, at our last meeting that we had. I met with him and told him that the case that was filed by the state is set for trial in Pike Circuit Court. And the Attorney General has said from the get-go that what money that, after they take the Attorney General's expenses out, what money that comes to out of that lawsuit against Purdue Pharma, we got our $4 million, but that they are wanting to settle, I understand, and are in negotiations to settle that suit. The Attorney General is going to turn around and give that money to the Central Appalachian counties that, of course, had lost so many people due to Oxycontin and oxycodone. So we will be watching that case in the next few days and see if they do settle that case. Then we hope to take that money and put with the state money that's coming back to this county, and we have the options beyond doing a lot more than what Judge Hayes has talked about that everybody's been working on for the last few months.
Another possibility is that, you know, a couple of years ago, the legislature changed or revised the criminal code, and there was part of that revision that was made was going to generate some savings to the state by virtue of not having to incarcerate the criminals the prisoners as much. And that money was to be, from my understanding now, is to be set aside and used for different programs throughout the state. And I don't know if any counties have started tapping into that money yet, but I know there was a savings, a substantial savings that was supposed to occur for the State Department of Corrections as a result of the changes made to the criminal code. And some of that money, if it has started piling up, that may be another source of revenue that we could look at to do something along those lines in the Hall of
We'll
Justice.
be glad to take that up, and also the governor's office has been involved in this, and they are aware of what's going on up here with Purdue Farmer cases, and we'll certainly take a look at that. Magistrate Dotson.
I got a bridge that my road foreman Frank went over and looked at, and it's on Zion Drive. He said there were 8 dwellings and 1 business over there. And he's got some pictures here with it and some bids to have it. It's a cement bridge to have it resurfaced and repaired. You can look at it if you don't care, and here's a folder on it. I'll pass it down and see what you think about it. But he said it looked like somebody's put salt on it or something, and it's just got holes in it. And there's a school bus that crosses it every day. It's our camper. You know where I'm talking about? Right above Meat House. And I was wanting to see if you'd heard anything, Frank, or I called down to Rick Long's office today, Frank, and he was out, but I'm going to try to see if there's any match state funding that we can use on repairing our bridge. I don't know if that's for new bridges or if it's if we can use it to repair bridges with. Do you know?
No, but I'll check on it and see.
But I called Rick's office. He's supposed to call me back this evening. It's late when I called.
Okay, I'll try to touch base in the morning also with him and see on resurfacing. Most that I know, and I wouldn't tell you I'm right or wrong, is replacing, bridges, but we could get some help.
Now, this bridge has got a good structure. It's just
needs
look
concrete.
like somebody's put salt on it during the winter, and it's just flaking and eating up and got a hole in it. But another thing, have you heard anything about our flex money down at Frankfurt that we are going to be able to get? I guess we had about 60,000 last year, and probably over 400 this year we can use for blacktopping, and we need it desperate.
I haven't heard anything.
You haven't
Jeannie,
applied for it yet?
Have you got anything from them?
No, we haven't, as far as I know.
If we don't apply for it, we're not going to get it. Ruth said it was there waiting on us, and
It's
you
where
know,
they
it's
have to
getting
put
late in the season.
roads together and get it approved and get it back here.
Correct.
They authorized for the 14 years, 400 and some thousand. I can't remember right now what exactly the numbers were. And then we had money left on the 13 account.
I haven't got any paperwork whatsoever on. Most of the time, the magistrates get that or something, or maybe comes
Well,
to
we
Jeannie.
get it through you. When you bring it, they give you the list for us to get together and give you and the court.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't received a thing from them.
Quick as we get that,
They
we'll
have to
give
have
it to
that
him and get
form,
it
they
out
have
to
to
you.
drive the roads and tell you, and they have to have the estimates and all that stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I've never been notified on any of this.
But it happens the same time every year. I mean, it's not something you get
Right.
notified about. It's just we have this money every year.
I'll call tomorrow when I call Rick, find out what's there, and then let you all know, and then you all go out and pick your roads, because we'll figure up like we do before.
We'll follow
Try
the
to
same
make it
procedure
equal
we
to
followed
everybody.
last year.
But we're getting close to blacktop season closing, and I need it desperate. I don't know about these other guys, but my roads are just
Frank
about
Hillman had asked
bad
me as I
shape.
come in, I was trying to remember off the top of my head, but whenever I did the last billing on the 13, I think Rick said there was like 50 or 60 left on that one, because it was like 594 last year, but we only kept them around 89 or 90, so they wouldn't go over. Then, I think he told me for the 14 year, there's 400 and some, but I can't remember, because I had it included in this budget amendment.
It's a lot of money.
It's 4 something was the number back whenever Joe and them came and did the county road aid agreement, they also gave us what the flex money was gonna be at that time.
Very good.
I'll find out in the morning, he'll let y'all know. Then we'll know, about what, like we did last year.
I appreciate it, Frank.
Madam
That's all I
Treasurer.
have.
Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Motion pay the bills. Motion Magistrate Murphy, to have a second Magistrate Johnson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson,
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy,
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson, Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
You said it's a motion to pay the
Yes.
bills. This is the interfund transfers, right?
Just the interfund
Okay,
transfers
yes.
to pay what bills and payroll and health and life.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. Madam Treasurer.
Acknowledge receipt of the previously approved transfers and interfund transfers for September 17th, 2013, October 1, 2013, and October 15th, 2013.
Have a motion. Have a motion, Magistrate Anderson, have a second, Magistrate Robinson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson, Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Harris,
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Acknowledge receipt of the Treasurer's September 2013 financial statement, pass over the October to the next meeting, and the financial statement for the first quarter ending September 30th, 2013.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion, Magistrate Johnson, have a second. Have a second, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson, Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris,
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
We need to pass over the next one. Rose has to go get it, make some copies for us of the second reading.
I got the copies, I just didn't put it in.
Okay. Authorize, did we get it advertised? Okay. Authorize the following checks in the amounts of, to Smith Construction, the NRCS pass-through when received on Varney Branch in the amount of $28,550.
Do I have a
Alan?
motion? Have a motion, Magistrate Anderson, have a second, have a roll call vote, please.
Let's say anything. Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson.
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris,
Abstain.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Island Creek Volunteer Fire Department passed through the coal severance line item project money of House Bill Number 1, Project ID Number A402, in the amount of $3,846.16. Lookout Volunteer Fire Department passed through the coal severance line item projects House Bill Number 1, Project ID Number A402, in the amount of $3,846.16. Upper Pond Creek Volunteer Fire Department passed through the coal severance line item projects House Bill Number 1, Project ID Number A402, $3,846.16. Lookout Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department passed through coal severance line item projects House Bill Number 410, Project ID Number 607, in the amount of $7,692.30. Authorize a check to TJ's Auto Sales for the purchase of a carport in order to put the horse trailer at the animal shelter under it to keep it from getting any more rust damage in the amount of $1,395. And Caroline's Catering Incorporated for the Judicial Center dedication and reception in the amount of $1,000.
We have a motion, have a second, Magistrate Johnson, have a roll call vote. I might add that Doug, make sure you pick those checks up and hand deliver them to those fire chiefs or assistant chiefs so they will understand how committed this court is to assist them.
I got a question, though. What line item are we taking the carport for the trailer at the animal shelter
Judge
out of?
Hayes,
Animal
would you
shelter
tell
renewals
us
and
about the
repairs.
carport?
What's that?
Animal shelter renewals and repairs.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Any other questions? Madam Clerk?
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris,
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. Do you need
Make a
to-
motion, we move into executive session to discuss specific personnel matters and pending litigation pursuant to KRS 61-810.
Okay.
You have a second? We have a second, have a roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Can't give me to
I need a motion to come out of a closed session and
Motion.
go back into regular session. Have a motion by Mr. Roberts, second by Mr. Murphy, and have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris? Judge Rutherford?
Yes. We received a call this afternoon that John R. Phillips passed away today, and I think about everybody in here knows how close I was to John R. Phillips. John R. passed away today. He'd been in critical care of Magistrate Harris over in the ARH hospital for several days. But I've been blessed to have two deputy judges of John R. Phillips and Judge Hayes, to have them to assist and help the fiscal court and help run this county. And it's a big loss. I came in office in 1970 as a very young, the youngest county judge in the history of this Commonwealth. John R., being older than I, kept my feet on the ground and was able to help me during those formative years. He reminded me, Magistrate Harris, that Pond Creek always was taken for granted and nothing was never done for them. And they was the votes over there that kept people in office here and in Frankfurt and other places, and yet they didn't have anything done for them. John R. was an advocate. He was on the Hardy Park. He was the chairman along with Fontaine Banks Sr. The housing at down on the Tug Fork that we constructed over there, the new Belfry Courthouse. He was on that committee. He looked out Magistrate Harris from an area that had been real good to to people in public office in this county and in the state. And he became an advocate for people who had not had anything done for them. And a lot happened in those years in the 70s as we began building the county government up. And John R. will be missed by his family. He'll be missed by his church. You know, John R. was a leader in the Church of Christ. Judge Hayes and I was able to go over about a month ago when he retired as a deacon after 40-some years. we was able to break bread with him and spend some time with him that day with his brothers and sisters of his church. So it was Judge Hayes and I was able to go over to the hospital when they brought him over here and diagnosed him, I think, with 2 brain tumors. So it's been a terrible afternoon for me personally, and to lose a dedicated employee of this county, an employee who no doubt helped mold me into whatever I am today and what I can do to help make this county a better place for people to live in. So, but John R. Phillips, the funeral is at 12 o'clock on Friday. I think I'm correct. Jeannie, am I correct on that? 12 o'clock on Friday at the Rogers Funeral Home. So I will be in Louisville, but I will get up early that morning and drive back and make the funeral and then be back here in this courtroom for the honoring our veterans. Judge Hayes will be over Magistrate Harris to I know that the Belfry coach just received a national honor of the coach in the United States, that he was chosen by a national group as the And of course, Judge Hayes will go over there and we'll take a proclamation from this court and present it at the thing at 10 o'clock. And then we'll get back and we'll get over there to attend. And Judge Hayes and I will attend as honorary pallbearers to John R.'s funeral. We'll leave about 12:30, get back over here by 1 and meet our obligations of what we had said. But it's been a terrible afternoon for me when I received the call, even though I knew it was going to happen, and we all realize, even though we know that people is going to pass, that you're never ready when especially lose somebody like John R. Phillips, because he meant so much to me. And I made a race for lieutenant governor of this state, and I couldn't have made it if I hadn't had John R. Phillips here running the government of Pike County during that period of time, Judge Hayes, and he was well respected not only in Pond Creek but throughout this county. I tried cases for 8 years, and in the court system, and John R. had been deputy sheriff in this county for 12 years. I'd been probation and parole officer for 12 years. We knew every outlaw in the county. To the outlaw element in this county, Bobby, we was known as the hanging judges. John R. helped try cases as a assigned trial commissioner. To the good people in this county, we looked out for them if they was on their way to church and got a citation, and I'd tell them, and John R. would, if the Lord will send you to church, we'll take care of you if you was speeding. But to those outlaws, we poured it on them because we knew nobody could con us. We knew them all. And John R. was probably one of the most respected, unelected officials that ever served in this county. And, I feel for Richie and Murray and all those grandkids that they have, but they can look back and be proud of what he contributed to this county. I just wanted to say that, and we have now Judge Hayes, we have the personnel.
Judge, I personally want to offer my condolences to the family. He was just my friend, and I was blessed and honored to speak when his beloved wife Mary passed away a few years ago, and it's good to hear a Christian brother say, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go see Mary, and that's the way John R. Phillips was. All right, Judge, for personnel, we have just a few recommendations this evening. Judge, we're going to take up 3 of them, and then, Judge, I want to ask for a separate vote on a second one. We'll do 3 at once, and then we'll take up another one. First, Judge, we recommend for the mini packer driver job at solid waste area number 2 at Belcher at a 3H pay rate, the qualified senior employee Randall Bowling for that position. Secondly, Judge, the heavy equipment operator, solid waste landfill, a 5H position. We recommend Troy Hunt as the qualified senior employee. And finally, Judge, there's an issue that concerning one of our road foremen, Ron Reynolds. We recommend that the county pay the health insurance premiums for Mr. Reynolds for the months of August and September 2013. Beginning in October, he is picking those up personally, so we need for the court to approve the payments for those 2 months. And Judge, if you would, if that would be your recommendation, we get a motion, a second, have a vote on those, and then we'll take up the
Have a motion on those 3. Magistrate Murphy?
Motion.
Motion, Magistrate Murphy. I make the recommendation, the motion, and Magistrate Murphy will second. Have a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson. Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Ruthford.
Yes.
Judge, and the final matter we have is a carpenter position in the Public Works Department, a 5H pay rate. Judge, we recommend, personnel recommends, that is, Terry Justice as the qualified employee.
Did the commissioner rep?
That was the recommendation of Paul Williamson, the acting director of that department, and that is our recommendation.
Well, that will be my recommendation and motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second, Mr. Anderson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
That's all we have, Judge.
Got treasurer's business.
Issues on the treasurer's business. I need the
You do
assistant
have,
county
we do
attorney
have two.
to do
but
the second
county
reading.
attorney has a second reading. Mr. County Attorney.
Yes, this is a second reading of a budget amendment. It's an ordinance relating to fiscal year 2013, 2014 annual budget amendment thereof. Whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court has realized unbudgeted receipts from the following funds, be it ordained by the Pike County Fiscal Court of Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1A, receipts in summary form, total amended revenues of $3,639,698.38. Section B, appropriation, total amended appropriations, $3,639,698.38. It was approved, first reading on October 15th, approved as to form and classification by the state local finance officer on October 22nd, has been duly advertised. That is the second reading in summary form, require a motion, second, majority vote.
Have a motion to have a second. Have a second, Mr. Anderson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Treasurer.
Magistrate District 1 submitted 2 bills for Evans Construction, one for Gen Fork completion of repairing a bridge and pouring new concrete surface and sealing all new concrete in the amount of $8,450 to be coming out of his road account. And for Flutie Branch, completion of repairing a bridge and pouring new concrete surface and sealing all new concrete in the amount of $8,500.
Have a motion. Motion, Mr. Anderson. Have a second, Mr. Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
And
Now
no
it's
further
time,
business.
go ahead, Madam Treasurer, if you have anything else. Now it's time for the directors and commissioners. If you have anything to take up with this court as a body, you have your opportunity today. I know that we wore you out with meetings in my office, but we want you to always have the opportunity to come before this body with any problem that you may have, or hope that we can resolve it between us and the magistrates and before the court meeting. But if we don't, always feel free to do it at this time at the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Judge, I gotta just, since they don't have nothing, they said I could have their time, I just need just about.
Magistrate Dodson said he wanted one meeting of the commissioners and director time. Magistrate
Chick
Dodson.
said I could have his time, and
I didn't say that.
Kenneth did. Well, Kenneth did. But it won't take me long.
Give you 5 minutes.
All right, I won't take that long. But Judge, I just wanted to remind you, I don't know where you knew about it or not, but we were able to put a flagpole up at the Phillips Cemetery over at Phillips Branch today, and we need a flag to put on it. And I wanted to thank Paul and the inmates for getting that taken care of. And we was able to move a pool table from Freeburn to Kemper to the Senior Citizen Center to help them out. So, you know, I just want to let you be aware of that stuff.
And let me say, we met, was it yesterday or today with Tony Tackett at Tourism?
Yeah.
Today, and we discussed the historical marker for the Phillips Cemetery today, and we checked on it to make sure if we needed anything else to get that done.
Well, I just want to, I know we ain't going to be able to do nothing on it, but think about maybe between now and the next court meeting about us forming some kind of a committee on this trail system where we could start having some meetings and things, and maybe we can talk about next
Yeah,
court
we'll
meeting.
talk about that. No
All right,
problem.
thank you. That's all I have. Everybody
Need a
have a
motion
good
to
one.
adjourn, motion.
Hey, Hammond, one more thing. How'd you get your picture took, that good-looking woman in that magazine they sent out to us?
I never did see it.
You didn't see it? Keiko
Oh,
magazine.
magazine, they,
I didn't see it either. I didn't see it.
Did he have my picture?
Yeah, that woman's running.
Had to say her name rather.
Be a good picture. I ain't never seen it, but I'm going to look for it.
have a motion and a second, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris? Judge Rutherford?